So hello guys, my name is Michael Lefakis and this is my presentation for what is actually immersion for the unit 1 and the first question. So let's dive into and see what we're actually going to see in the next slides. To begin with, we'll do an introduction about what we are about to see, to discover, to explain, and have some examples as well. We'll move on with a problem. What is the problem nowadays? We'll define what is immersion. We'll see 5 factors of immersion. And furthermore, we'll see immersion in the clothing industry and we'll have our conclusions. So to begin with, the introduction. Immersion actually is a phenomenon. The upward growth of AR, VR, and MR, and the whole XR actually has inevitably led to a use of these technologies in increasingly diverse fields. But what does it mean to be truly immersed in an experience? So let's move on and see what are the problems actually. To begin with, how we measure immersion and what do we know about the lack of understanding? What are the results of the lack of understanding? To begin with, despite the growing importance of immersion in various fields, there is still lack of understanding and lack of conscious on how effectively we can measure actually and achieve immersion. So this lack of understanding and this lack of measurement can lead to poor design experiences that resulting in experiences that are shallow or even alienating for users. Moving on, let's see some of the definitions of what is immersion. Immersion actually is a sense of presence and a deep of mental involvement. Once latter defined immersion as an objective description of the technology, while the sense of presence is a subjective experience and only quantifiable by the user experiencing it. Likewise, Kalashki states that presence is essentially a cognitive or perceptual parameter, whilst immersion essentially refers to the physical extent of the sensory information and is a function of the enabling technology. Moving on, let's see some further study. Immersion is an objective description of technology. And likewise, we can say that it's a physical extent of the sensory information. So immersion is one of the terms which have gained nowadays, as we said before, prominence and established their dominance in the vocabulary, and is often equated to realism, naturalness, presence, and the sense of being surrounded, which has made immersion an excessively vague and all-in exclusive concept. A state of, as we said before, deep mental involvement in which the subject may experience disassociation from the awareness of the physical world due to a shift in their attentional state. This definition actually is used to contrast and differentiate in chargeably use terms such as presence and envelopment from immersion. Moving on, let's see actually the definition of immersion. Immersion, as we said before, is a phenomenon, is the sense of being surrounded, is a mental state, and we can characterize this definition with realism, naturalness, and the presence. A good, a good and complete actually definition is immersion is a phenomenon experienced by an individual when they are in a state of deep mental involvement in which their cognitive processes cause a shift in their attentional states such that one may experience disassociation from the awareness of the physical world. Based on this definition, immersion is a mental state which is why sensory stimulation is not required to uh, let's say experience immersion. For example, daydreaming is not surrounded with technology, is not surrounded with equipment of immersion actually uses, and can be immersive experience as well. Moving on, let's see the 5 factors of immersion that we can analyze it. First of all, it's the system. Secondly, we can see it's the narrative content. Furthermore, we can see that it's the environmental and contextual conditions and individual factors. And last but not least is the interaction And we can move on with the clothing industry. The future of fashion, actually said Christian Dior, one of the well-known brands. Christian Dior is renowned for its ability, we can say, to bring innovation to the catwalk each season, which also explains why Dior has been one of the first fashion houses to acknowledge uh, the new the new technologies that are the future of the fashion industry, and Christian Dior embracing them will help meet need of their customer. In this slide, we have to mention that with increasingly advanced digital technologies coupled with the shortening of technology, life cycles and changes in customer demand, companies need to constantly reimagine their business model in order to remain competitive in a rapidly changing environment. With consumers spending more time online than ever before, brands must rethink how actually they promote and market products in the digital realm, as well as offer more immersive experiences and unique experiences for customers. With advancement of new technologies, industries are developing rapidly. Among them, the fashion industry is a vast area that involves the production of raw materials, the production of goods by designers, and retail sales. Digital is an increasingly important sales channel that can help companies not only to adapt but also fuel innovative ways of customer acquisition. So let's see an example now of SWOT analysis. And more specifically, we can speak about the strengths of this pattern. Uh, Customers, we can say, will have the opportunity to virtually try on clothes from the comfort of their homes, while at the same time they will save time. uh, this is a strength if we uh, if all companies in the industry, all fashion houses, all fashion brands adapt to the immersive technologies, we have the ability to develop a new application or to connect their already existed application with a sort or a form of immersive experience that will help customers and their sales as well. As far as the weaknesses are concerned, we can say that a wide variety of customers will hesitate to use this immersive technology or any immersive technology that is new to the world, especially if they are in an older age. Moving on with the opportunities, we can say if we adapt again with immersive experiences, there will be more online sales, collaboration, and partnership online as well. To sum up and come to a conclusion, in order to make the suggested solution more attractive to its prospect user in the future, we can create immersive virtual environments, further dedicated immersive virtual environments, allow spectacular fashion experiences, showcases, runaways, and presentation to be created that transport people in imaginative and immersive context, and thus limit travel but enhance the narrative and perceived value of the collection. That's all what I have to say. I hope that you are not so tired, and thank you for your attention.